Alright guys, hello and welcome back to another episode of Pauper Ponderings. My name is Austin, and this week we have a really sweet deck submitted by, I even know his name this time, Lawson Lang. I hope I'm saying your name right, hopefully I'm not butchering it completely. If I am, please tell me how much of an idiot I am in the comments. This week we're playing Mono Green Convoke. Now, what does that mean? Well, we're playing a lot of cards that have the Convoke ability. So that's Siege Worm, Willforged Golem, Scatter the Seeds, Kavu Primarch, and Sprout Swarm. So these cards in conjunction are essentially overcosted cards due to the fact that they have Convoke. So, you know, a 6-mana 4/4 and Willforged Golem, not the best rate, but it having, Convoke means that we're able to cheat it into play. The same can be said for Siege Worm, Scatter the Seeds, and Kavu Primarch. And then Sprout Swarm is just a really good way to, essentially, as the game goes on, just begin to take over with a bunch of green sapling cards. This card was very powerful back when it was in Standard. I didn't play back then, but from what I hear, it was quite the card in kind of like control go-long decks. Now, how are we facilitating these Convoke cards? Well, we have a bunch of 0-mana creatures. So this is 2 weeks in a row we're playing Phyrexian Walker, but we have 4 copies of Phyrexian Walker. In addition to that, we have 4 copies of Shield Sphere, which is a 0-mana 0/6. Whenever it blocks, you put a -0/-1 counter on it. It has a Defender. For some reason, Ornithopter has taken on the art of Sprout Swarm right here, which is really funny. But we have 4 copies of Ornithopter with the Mirrodin art, the only art to use. And then we have, those are kind of our, I guess, the free creatures that facilitate us only playing 12 lands in the deck. As you can see, we only play 4 forests, 4 hickory woodlots, which is the depletion counter green land. It's going to do a really good job of allowing us to play some of these overcosted cards early in the game. And then 4 copies of Colony Garden, which for some reason has the Commune with Nature art in the little picture, which is, I find, very funny. This is going to make a 0/1. So in this deck, it comes into play tap, but it actually makes 2 mana, because that 0/1 is going to go towards casting all of our big creatures. Now, we also have Tinderwall and Wild Cantor, which kind of fit into the 0-mana creature strategy as well, as you can play Tinderwall, you can sack it to add 2 red, or you can also just tap it for Convoke. Wild Cantor allows you to tap, and then it can also be sacked as well. Then, for our payoffs, we also have Commune with Nature. Commune with Nature is going to help us find, because a lot of this deck is fluff. As you can see here, there's a lot of just nothing. So Commune with Nature is going to help us find some of our bigger threats. So that's going to be really important. And then finally we have Copperhorn Scout, which is actually a pretty cool piece of technology. As you're able to attack with all of your creatures, they all untap. So if you have something like a Sprout Swarm in hand, you can attack with all of your creatures, and they're all going to untap. And then you can, on the end of turn, untap and cast the Sprout Swarm. So that is all kind of synergistic. It works really well together. Another thing that this deck does quite well is you're able to go wide quite quickly. And with cards like Sprout Swarm and Scatter the Seeds, it really, you're able to go around a lot of these decks. And another thing that's cool is Siege Worm just happens to be just a pretty good size. We've seen a card like Gurmag Angler really take over the format in terms of control finishers. And Siege Worm is kind of the same body, but it has trample. So we're looking to cast a discounted Siege Worm the same way those black and blue decks are trying to cast discounted Gurmag Anglers. As for payoffs, we also have Might of the Masses. So if we don't have one of these big effects, Might of the Masses, we can attack with all of our creatures. Depending on how many creatures we have in play, Might of the Masses might be able to give, +6, +7, or +8, and that should be enough to finish off a game. So a very linear game plan in game 1, but hopefully powerful enough to steal us some games. To go over to the sideboard here, we have the other Copperhorn Scout. I'm not quite sure what that comes in against, but I'm sure in matchups where we need the Sprout Swarm to continue to get online, I'm sure it can be very powerful. Essence Warden against any sort of burn deck seems quite powerful, as we are producing a lot of creatures. We have, because I'm a madman, I have 3 Fogs, all of different art. Any sort of situation where we get into a race, I think this card would be quite powerful. We have some Prey Pawns for any sort of matchups where we need removal. We have a bunch of big creatures in our deck, and that's going to be able to allow us to get the creature advantage. We have 3 natural states, as we don't play very many lands in our deck, so making sure all of our cards cost very little mana is quite important here. And as you can see, actually all of our sideboard cards cost 1 green. And then finally we have Magnify, which is 1 green, gives all your creatures +1/+1. So this is going to act as kind of a instant speed anthem for our little creatures, and it should be able to overwhelm our opponents. So I'm excited to see where this deck goes. I hope you are too. Hopefully my audio is fixed. I'm really excited about that. Hopefully the lighting is good. Hopefully this is the best video so far, and obviously one of my best, or I guess, I don't want to say best, but one of my longtime viewers, Lost in the Land, gave me this list, so I'm trying to do it well by him. Hopefully he's as excited as I am about this. As well, if you guys would like to ever see me play a different format, I'm actually going to put a straw poll on the article, the actual article on the mana base, with all the different formats that I'm thinking about playing. So if you could please take a second, fill that, or not even fill it out, submit your vote for that poll, because next week or the week after that, I will probably be playing a different format that's not Pauper, just to see how that goes. But don't worry, I will at all points always be playing Pauper for you guys. It is the sweetest format to brew. But yeah, if you like this video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Make sure you also check us out over on the Manabase, www.themanabase.com, as well as our sister sponsor, Fusion Gaming. Make sure you check them out as well, www.fusiongamingonline.com. And I'll be back for round number 1 in just a couple of minutes. You know what? That's not true. You can watch that video directly after you finish watching this video, probably in the playlist that you're watching now. But remember, do make sure you fill or you vote in the poll for the format that I'm going to be playing in either next week or the week after, if I can find a sweet list. And yeah, I'll see you guys back here for round number 1.